all of our updates, to share what's going on in the world of Project Die Hard. And as always, there's a lot going on. And tonight is no exception. I am going to go ahead and share some information about Project Die Hard. So for those that are not as familiar with what Project Die Hard is all about, I'm hoping before the night is done, you will know a lot more. You'll be very familiar. And there's a really important event coming up this week on the 26th. So I'm just giving you the tease out there. There's more details coming up here shortly. But what I would like to do is just to start out with talking about what is the mission of Project Die Hard, to give you guys an overview here of truly what. Give me 1 second to get to my correct screen, and bear with me for 1 second here. Here we go. So Project Die Hard, we actually are, it is a faith-based, scripture-led veteran nonprofit. All donations that go to Project Die Hard are all for bringing hope to our veterans and growing God's kingdom. We did just finish earlier this month here with the Fill the Can Challenge. The results of that will be coming soon. We will know who is the winner when it comes to who raised the most money. Cans have been returned or are maybe still being returned, but they are in the process of that and counting up all of the donations. Huge thank you to all those who participated, whether you were somebody who was doing a head-to-head challenge against another organization or another individual to help spur on the funds that were being raised. Whether you were somebody who actually did say, hey, I've got some dollars I can throw into the mix here, whatever role you took in the process of this Fill the Can Challenge that started on Memorial Day and ended on Independence Day, we send you our sincerest gratitude, our thanks, and as Brian always says, thank you and God bless, because that is what it takes to keep this mission running. It takes people, it takes time, and it takes money. We do have a facility that is in place that needs to be fully functional. We are not 100% there yet. We are working on it, and that's where this meeting that's coming up on Friday is big. And again, more details coming up shortly here, but just want everyone to know that where your donations go truly is to the mission. There is, like it says right here on our screen, financial records are available upon request. We're not hiding anything. It is all available so that you know where your money goes, and it truly is to fulfill the mission at hand here. God will never leave the mission. The suffering of veterans will not be used to grow this mission, and no drugs or alcohol is allowed within the mission. So there are some very basic pieces here that are part of what we do and part of who we are. And we put that at the forefront so everybody understands these are the ground rules and this is what we're all about. Moving forward here. So together, everyone accomplishes more. We are a team, and a team is what makes this all work. Being a beacon of hope for veterans. So our founder, Brian Gibson, he is normally here giving the updates on Monday nights. He is not here tonight. He has other priorities he needs to take care of. And when he is back and able to join us for this podcast, then we will share more about what's all been going on and get those updates directly from him. But Brian, we cannot be more grateful for all that Brian has done and is doing. And who is he? It says a little bit of the info here about Brian himself. He is retired from the United States Army. He was with the Army for over 20 years, multiple combat tours as a medic. And he's got a great, interesting history here himself. I'm just going to read through this so that you know. He did, like many other veterans do, self-medicated with alcohol. This led him to almost becoming another number added to the veteran suicide rate. In his darkest moments, he received a call from a brother veteran who invited him to the Free Spirit Biker Church rally because this brother did not want to go alone. It literally saved Brian's life. After being saved from the demon of alcoholism, alcoholism and serving the kingdom, he was working on a tribute motorcycle with two of his combat brothers to remember their brothers lost in battle, when he received a phone call from the wife of another combat brother saying, "Doc, what do I do? He's hanging in the garage." This led him to asking his father what could be done better, and because now he has lost more brothers and sisters to the demon of suicide. How can his brothers and sisters find hope? After many hours of prayer and devotion, this led to Project Die Hard, with the mission to bring public awareness to veteran suicide and to assist veterans with the transition to civilian life. That's something that I think people don't think about, that there is so much that we ask of our military. They devote their life, like literally their life is the military when they are when they're active duty. What do they do when their time is done and they are transitioning back to civilian life? How do they do the things they need to do? Where are the resources? What do they need to know? They obviously are ingrained in what's going on while they're in the military. And when you flip the switch here to all of a sudden now you're back to being a civilian, what do you do? That is in part where Project Die Hard does come in. There's so much that can be done and should be done to help our men and women as they are returning. That is where Project Die Hard can step in and make a difference. There are no secrets here as far as where we all come from and what this is all about. I'm just going to skip ahead here in what this is all documentation that is public and able to be shared out. So if you want to go ahead and read through the details, you can either pause your screen or you can ask and we'd be happy to share. So as far as the plan that was in place, our facilities are a place for veterans to find safety, fellowship, and so much more. All locations will be placed in rural locations serving veterans. So the goal is to have a location in every state. It will provide veterans with the skills, training, counseling, therapies, and transitional housing. They will bring employment, economic growth. They must operate 24/7, 365, and our volunteers do what they can. It takes dedicated professionals to give the best to who we serve. All paid positions within the organization will start out as volunteers. Currently, there's nobody being paid to do anything. I'm not getting paid to be here. I'm volunteering my time. This is what it's all about, volunteering your time and your resources to make a difference. This is what I am doing now, and this is where any paid position in the future, all people will start out as volunteers, and there's so much that needs to be happening yet here. We are looking for companies and individuals to become Project Die Hard facility suppliers. We have outreach programs. We have, if you've been around at all, you know that we have a Project Die Hard fellowship breakfast that takes place on the first Wednesday of the month at the IHOP in Paducah, Kentucky. All are welcome to break bread with our heroes. Veterans eat for free. Like it says right on there, you can hate war, but you cannot hate the warrior. There are so many great ways that we can support our veterans, and that the breakfast that takes place is definitely one way that we can support our veterans in a very simple way. The first Wednesday of the month, on location there at the IHOP in Paducah, you can come and actually eat with our veterans. If you're not local and able to be there in person and you still want to support this, we're looking for patrons to actually donate the money so that we can continue to have the free breakfast for our veterans. I'm a civilian. If I show up to this breakfast, I'm paying my own way, right? We are looking for folks who can actually pitch in the money, whether it's $1, $5, $10. If you want to sponsor the breakfast for the rest of the year, that would be amazing, because this is important. We've had new veterans come and join. I was told recently that somebody who was there for the very first time, it sounds very clear to me that this person is going to be coming back because connections were made. That's what we are all about. be sure to be able to go there and to know that connections are there. Your fellowship time it's there. You can look forward to that event on a monthly basis. It's big. It's made a big difference for a lot of people, and it will continue to do that for people as they come, and not just for our veterans. Anyone who comes is able to participate and enjoy their time together, and that's a big deal. Anyone who knows I think this is something a lot of people do. You've got friends that you get together with on a relatively regular basis, whatever that may be. I know I have friends that I so look forward to that time together. That's what this is. Project Die Hard is all about giving hope to veterans, right? This is something to look forward to. That's important. Something as simple as this makes a difference. So what can you do to help make a difference with this? Let people know that it's going on. Chip some money in so that it can be paid for and we can continue this on into the future. Forward Operating Base Rush. This is a location that is in Makanda, Illinois. That is a picture of the building. It is a 20,000 square foot building with 20 acres. And there is a view of the grounds there. The facility was named after Courtney Rush, and that she is someone that unfortunately did lose her fight with the demon, and we don't want to forget who she is and what she has all done. This is named in her honor, in her memory. It is the first location, the first forward operating base, but there will be many more to come. This location will provide, yes.
I just want to ask if you can adjust your display. We actually are not seeing forward operating base rush right now. We actually are still seeing your first slide of the history, founder's story, how you can help. So you're just mentioning we're seeing the base. So let's change the display and let's take a look.
I thought I had shared the screen that was, okay, let me stop my screen share, and I'm glad you spoke up. I thought I had the right one on there, but obviously I did not. Okay, is it moving now?
Yep, now we see, now I'm seeing it. We're not, you have to push to
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's try this again. So sorry, because when I'm on the other screen moving it, I'm not on this screen seeing it. So my apologies. Okay, so I am here. You're still seeing it?
Yeah, now we're seeing the scrolling display. Yep.
So I actually had scrolled all the way down to, sorry, I was moving quickly. Take a moment here. You can actually see what the building looks like. So this is forward operating base rush, the outside of the building and part of the grounds here. You can see the building in the background. And I was just here. Thank you for letting me know that I had my screen incorrect there. So I appreciate that. We're a team, right? We help each other out. So that's what it's all about, making sure that we are doing the best we can with what we have. So again, this location, it will provide, once the remodeling is done on the inside, we will have room for 12 single veterans and 2 veterans with their families for transitional housing for up to a year. There will also be skills training, counseling, employment, therapies for veterans who want to better themselves, whether it's for a day, a weekend, a week, a month, or again, if it's up to a year at that location. It would be all at no cost to the veterans. It is located in Southern Illinois at 189 Haven of Love Drive in Makanda, Illinois. Tours are available on request. And again, I was giving you that tease about the 26th of this month, this Friday. There will be an open house taking place as part of what's happening this Friday. So I will get back to that in just a little bit, but that is an opportunity if you're available. I believe it's from 1 to 3 on Friday. Let me make sure when I go back to my other screen, I'll make sure I've got that time correct. When it's completed, here's a rendering of what that will look like. And the inside. So interiors, I know a chunk of this is already done. See if I can make this as big as I can. It's not a great view on my screen right now. I apologize, but at least you get the idea I know currently we do have, the kitchen is open. The kitchen has been through all the approval processes that are needed in order to, be a public kitchen, or I don't know all the correct terminology. That is not my forte, but we are able to serve food out of there. There is a gathering space. There is a location there where there's a screen. There's a room where really classes can take place there. So that is something that is coming down the pipe here really quickly, where that is a location where people can go and partake in class time or in meetings or all sorts of things. There's, again, we had talked about how there is going to be place for 12 individuals, individual veterans and 2 veteran families to be able to stay here. That is what is on this end of the diagram. And that is what we are working on currently. That we need more, again, more time, more money in order to finish the renovations down in that area so that that is complete and that we can actually have this part start. All right. We share what resources we have with those who bring hope to veterans at no cost, so everyone can do more. The facilities, the building there, this is what needs to be finished. So the goal has been by the year end to have the facility done. Things that are also going to be taking place at that location. So at Fob Rush, there will be a retreat center, a fitness center, a resource center, a training complex, and a canine center. And you can see that each of these locations, each of these pieces of the location are named after veterans who have lost their life to suicide. And I am, we could go into more detail with that if you want to know more about any of these individuals. Brian obviously would have more information on that. I do not, but I do know that it's important to remember our vets. This is a great way to honor them. Forward operating base Rush must be completed first. God has blessed us with the land and provides us with the plan. We need you. So again, what can you do? You can pray about what's going on here. You can share this mission, share it out. We have a lot of resources out there to share what it is that this mission is all about. That's an easy thing that we can all do. Volunteer. I'm volunteering my time right now. If you're able to help out with even with what we're doing here with the podcast, that would be huge. Volunteer to help with setting up guests for this, help with the background on what's going on kind of behind the scenes, so that when I make mistakes like I did tonight with what I was doing with my screen sharing, that if you have any talent in that, or if you would like to learn how to do this, you can help with this stuff. It's not hard. It's just a matter of knowing how. So we're happy to show anyone who would be interested in helping out with this piece of this. This would be an easy thing to grab onto. Also, donating. We could use donations always. We are a 501c3 organization and we run off of donations. So please consider what you can do. When will it be completed? People ask. Well, here's some pictures. You can see things that are current. And I see I've got a couple pictures that did not download correctly. I think I'm going to go ahead and switch gears here since this obviously is not loaded fully on my screen. So we are going to pop back out. Just want to take a moment there to do this piece. Excellent. I'm seeing Alan. I'm so glad you're watching us here, Alan. Alan Holmes is a wonderful veteran, great friend, does so many wonderful things. And he's saying in here, always supporting veterans. Thank you, Kurt, for your dedication to keeping the military veterans and their families in their journey. We salute and honor Project Die Hard. Thank you so much, Alan, for being here. He is a great guy. I can't say enough good things about what Alan has done and is doing. He is so good with connecting people with resources and connecting people with one another. So Alan, we should get you back on here sometime soon so that you can share more about what you all do. And I know you've been doing some work with Jay. Actually, Kurt, you want to share a little bit more about what's been going on with Alan's podcast? When is that? What's it all about? And how that all connects in here?
Yeah, so that takes off every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific. So it's 11 a.m. Eastern time. Jay Stoyan hops on, and pretty much like this Mission Monday thing, it becomes for the Disability Channel like Mission Wednesday. For the Disability Channel, Jay comes on and gives his little recap of the previous week, what's looking ahead, and just kind of making sure that everybody with Mastery of Connections by Alan Holmes, we call him for that show. Alan Holmes is MC Holmes, MC for Master Connector, and that MC thing, you know, like rappers use once in a while, because Alan's like, hey, he's straight out of Compton, you know, so he's got a little vim and vigor in him, and so yeah, a great show available every Wednesday, and yeah, collaboration with Jay Stoyan. He's the kickoff element for the show, and then Alan tries to have guests every Wednesday for the show to have new, fresh content and messages with that weekly live stream.
Excellent. And I do want to share one piece here. I just got to get the right screen up. You know what? I'm going to make it simple. You're probably not going to like this, but there we go. I got it to pop in here. So I am putting it in. This is what I was teasing about earlier. July 26th. Mark your calendar. If you are anywhere near Marion, Illinois, we need you. We ask you, we sincerely ask that you do show up at 9:30 a.m. at 600 Halfway Road. Again, 600 Halfway Road, Marion, Illinois at 9:30 a.m. because Project Diehard is meeting with the Illinois Congressman Mike Bost, Representative Dale Fowler, and Representative Paul Jacobs. Did you catch that? We have these three gentlemen that are going to be meeting with Project Diehard this Friday, July 26th at 9:30 a.m. Why? Because we will be requesting the resources we need to move this project, this mission forward. We need as many people as possible to attend, to make our mission heard. When you come, more is done, the mission continues to grow. So, because you understand, when anything is going on with our local politicians like this, statewide politicians, if it's one person talking to them, they hear it. If it's 5 people talking to them, they hear it a little more. If there's 50, if there's 100, the more support they can see going on with the more people they understand that this will impact, the more constituents that this will make an impact with, they will hear it that much louder. They will understand it that much more. They will see the demand, the interest, the impact. They will see it, and it will help make their decisions a little easier. It's as simple as that. We know that what Project Diehard is doing and what the mission is important. We need for them to understand it as well. So please, if you're anywhere in that area, if you know people in the area, can you please share this with them and ask them to be there this Friday, July 26th at 9:30 a.m. It's important. It is so important. And following that meeting, there's going to be an open house at Fabrush. Again, the address is listed right on there. Fabrush is at 189 Haven of Love Drive in Makanda, Illinois. After the meeting takes place, there will be an open house on location there at Fabrush, so you can actually see what's there. You can get it. There's nothing like being there in person, right? Actually seeing it for yourself. Pictures are great, but actually walking on the ground and through the building, that makes a much different impact, doesn't it? So again, please, please, please share this out. Join us. Tell your friends. Tell anyone you know that's in the area there. Those of you who are on LinkedIn, you know how easy it is to share things with people in certain areas. There's a feature to invite people. You can do that so simply. And if you need help on how to do that, let me know. I can show you. I can be reached actually really easily. My email address is susan@projectdiehard.org. Feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to share out also the picture of what's on the screen now so that you can share that out on anything that you're doing as well. So Kurt, do you want to add anything to this before I take this off the screen?
Yeah, I mean, this is very akin to what we need to be doing in terms of our partnership with the Disability Channel. The Disability Channel element to this also thrives off of the government commitment. And so again, with the Disability Channel side of things, there is Digital Ventures, which, is available like right now. We have an instructional area, education space at Fob Rush, and so it's set up for there in person, and then with the virtual formats of Zoom and however it needs to be delivered. We can deliver the education by the Disability Channel television, buy-in with people with disabilities and veterans, and the success in Ontario is based on the Canadian commitment from tax dollars. Those programs, the veteran ministries and so forth out of Canada, support the Disability Channel, and also with the Ontarian Act for Ontarians with Disabilities. Everything is there, and there is that government connection. So that is what is in the works right now with Project Die Hard, is to get that solidified and to be able to elevate what Project Die Hard is doing for veterans in all these directions. And so, yeah, can't say enough about how important it is for all the constituents of these representatives to hear from each of you out there. And if you know people in the marketplace, in the in the region or the territory that the representatives represent, we'd ask that you reach out to your friends and family and everybody in their areas to go and communicate with those offices, get to their staffers and whatever else, a message that you're all hearing about the great work at Project Die Hard, and ask that they, in their work as senator and the other representatives there, to all use their authority and use the power of their vote and their administrative work to support that resources be made available for Project Die Hard and all this great work. Because after all, what is the worth of any other veteran service if our veterans are not alive?
Excellent. Thank you, Kurt. And I think one more thing I want to share with everyone is also we have a video, and Project Die Hard had of just a 3-minute video from when Fob actually says Fob Hope opening in McCanda, Illinois. But so sorry, that just threw me for a second. Let me share my screen. There's a 3-minute video here that is definitely worth sharing with everyone. Make this full screen, and are you able to hear this?
So you're gonna need to.
Yes. Are you hearing it though?
Yes.
Which led to WSIL TV to do a story on us, which led to the Haven of Love Christian Daycare Center calling and saying, will you come tell us about your mission? I'll go anywhere and tell anybody about how God saved my life and this mission. Walked me through 20 years through a 10,000 square foot building and said, could you use this? Well, of course, but there's no way we can afford this. They go, good. We're donating. I have now lost more brothers and sisters to this demon suicide than multiple combat tours.
Fight against veteran suicides demands a united front. Let us honor the sacrifice of our veterans, not only in words, but in deeds. We can talk about this all day long. We're here talking about it right now. But it's the deeds that are going to prevail within this mission. Together, let us be a beacon of hope that guides our heroes out of the shadows and into the light, understanding, and compassion.
Getting my screen back here. So that is as good of an intro and description, and that's perfect. It actually even has Senator Dale Fowler right in there. I can only hope that when that meeting takes place this Friday, that they'll be able to build from where that starting point was. He has, of the three gentlemen, he is the only one who has been, to my knowledge, been to Fob Rush. So he has seen the grounds. He is familiar with what's there. And obviously he has at least an idea of what Project Die Hard is and what it stands for. And I can only hope that he will be a crucial piece in all of this with sharing it with the other two gentlemen that will be there, and that we will be able to move forward quickly. So Kurt, what impressions do you have from this?
Well, I absolutely like the soundbite from Senator Dale Fowler on, the deeds are, it matters here. And, this is where you and I take our concerted efforts as much on the daily as possible, for sure, our weekly efforts here at Project Die Hard, and making this a constant, commitment. And whether others of you out there or those that you reach, are in that place to make that, direction of bringing this into their life. I would hope that something, could be done here by each and every person. I had a meeting today with one of our, past guests, Jason McNamara from the No More 9 to 5 Club. And, they have a virtual assistant by the name of Precious. And, our friend Emily Gomer was on there. And, we were going through what we could do to collaborate and, reach veterans, from the No More 9 to 5 Club, a lot of entrepreneurial resources there, and affiliate programs and business tools, and really hitting this financial element. And we've been partnered with Dr. Anna Maria Bliven in the past, who has allowed us to join the work that she had done with prosperity pathways and onward and upward, and really making it a solution to help veterans have employment, and to help the resources there. So whether in terms of being employed through someone else and become an employee, or to run a business and have that entrepreneurial side of being self-employed. Just ton of possibilities there. And we reviewed the connection that we have with not Project Die Hard, but I'm going to say myself, I am a working board member of Mutual Aid Network, and there's a summit coming up in September, and we have our meetings throughout the week. And Jason said that, we're going to put something together there. So, it is just great when someone gets it and is already in this veteran space. And, our talking was about getting something done, about, really, really being serious about putting the invite out enough that another person will come in to be a collaborator, a resource partner, ministry partner, some sort of partnership. To me, when I have somebody on my screen with a Zoom call or whatever, I feel that I have been called to make something happen. And when I show up and when I'm interacting with somebody, I never know the way it needs to end up. All I know is that I play a role where I make a choice. And with this topic, it is with dual meaning. You can speak life into it, or you can speak death into it. And we're talking about veteran suicide. So what we choose to do or not do literally is a matter of life or death. It literally seriously is. And this is at the crux, at the core of the message here, because it's been said many times on this podcast that, the statistic is out of our control. And not because we don't want to speak that into reality. That's not the point. The point is, at the present time, with 8 billion people around the planet, not a one of us, as 8 billion strong, not a one of us have the answer to how this statistic of veteran suicide will take a downtick, and that we will be able to see the results of these efforts. And so when Senator Dale Fowler says it is the action that will determine the future of this issue, that is true. So to me, when we look at what do we do every day that does not necessarily serve a veteran, and how can we orchestrate it in a way? How can we map it in a way? How can we rethink it, retool it? How can we make an affinity and cause marketing type of proposal, shift, offering? How can we, as a manager, a leader, as an employee, going and escalating this to say that this is an all hands on deck initiative, that we do need now response, and response that has personal meaning, where we can take this pencil and pass it through the camera and say, okay, now you take your pencil and you write down your plan. What is your plan to be favorable to a veteran? What is your plan to help the faith journey of a veteran? What is your plan to help veterans volunteer and to help volunteers place their volunteerism with veterans? What is your plan, like Southern Illinois University, in education, to better rally our educational resources around veterans? What is your plan as a constituent, as a citizen, to get with your senators and representatives and assembly reps and everybody that has this authority, has the voting power to represent us? What is your plan to speak up and to type out that email, to make that phone call, to do all these things in your business, to declare in your business how you support veterans? With your HR department, what are we doing to say we are going to do everything we can do to select veterans for the jobs we have open? And with all the fun things we do in life, this last weekend, you and I, Sue, we were at the world's largest water ski tournament. and thousands of people represented in the country, in the United States of America. 5,500 people belong to USA Water Ski and Wake Sports, which in the recent past, in the past years, they had a coordinated campaign with the VA to do adaptive water ski events for our injured and wounded veterans across America. And it came into Twin Lakes, Wisconsin. These examples need to be shared around so that it gets to homes, it gets to clubhouses, it gets to where people are sailing, where they're skydiving, whatever it may be, and to say, how are we doing getting people with disabilities and injured, wounded veterans and all veterans? Are we doing getting all veterans involved in these things? Here in Wisconsin, 2,500 Wisconsinites are a member of the Wisconsin Water Ski Federation. It might be a little different number than that because that's really from USA Water Ski and Wake Sports in Wisconsin. And this is to say, as an example, we can take these numbers we come to know about our thing, and we can ask the leaders the question, the administrators the question, is what would we say is the number of veterans in the membership to that hobby, pastime, leisure activity, and travel, entertainment, film creation. You just keep on going. Anything that can be done in life, how are we doing bringing a veteran into that? Because when we get veterans so consumed into sharing of their time and talents into being productive, we are helping them take a walk and a journey away from the demon, from being in their solitude, in their social isolation, and then to have the biological experience of driving oneself to devastation and to start to rationalize people around me would be better off without me, or I'm a failure, or all this negative speak that can go on within somebody's head, or PTSD out of control, that it'd just be better to stop the pain, to stop the suffering. That's the psychobabble that goes on within somebody's mind when they don't have the people and the resources they need to overcome the circumstances we put them in. We all have to own this. We all know the role of soldiers in the world's business, and how we that have never been a soldier, like myself and like Sue, this is where the appreciation and devotion comes from. It comes full circle that we all play a role in this business of war, that we have not created peace on earth, and people are sacrificed, and people are containing these humanitarian concerns and interests, and kind of the atrocity of using weapons and what weapons do to each other when a weapon strikes and injuries occur, near-death experiences, and then to have to go and get all this stuff attended to, and how that throws somebody's life upside down. So we, as the ones that soldiers protect, and these soldiers come back to be our veterans, and then to see the issue of homelessness of veterans and so forth, it is something that each and every American needs to talk about. And whatever country you're from, every country with the citizens within that country, and internationally, we need to come around this with the United Nations and whatever it needs to be. We need to make it that we map the resources and the support needed, that veterans can be connected to a life that we can expect them to thrive in. That's the chance we have, and each and every one of us make the decision every day, whether we're going to look the other way or we're going to stare this thing right in the eye, and we're going to be whatever veterans on the other side of the camera. We are here for each and every one of you, veterans, all the brothers and sisters in the veteran community. We are here for you. And that's what Project Die Hard is all about.
Project Die Hard, providing hope to veterans. I think you hit a big piece here that when you think about hope, you're looking forward to something, feeling like you belong to something. I know with our personal experience with what you were mentioning with the water ski community, I did look up what you had mentioned there, that there's the let's see, when I come down to it, veteran adaptive learn to ski programs taking place this year across 9 states. So we personally have a huge connection to the water ski community. We've been part of the show skiing community now for decades, and there are locations across the country here. Clinic dates, let's take a look here. We already had events in Winter Haven, Florida, Virginia Beach, Virginia, Martindale, Texas, Gaston, South Carolina, Locust Grove, Virginia, Harmony, North Carolina, Oroville, California. We just had a short time ago, a couple weeks ago, we had one in Twin Lakes, Wisconsin. Let's see, we also had Shrewsbury, Massachusetts, Lorton, Virginia, just this past weekend in Hialeah, Florida. And look, there are still 2 more coming up. August 3rd, which is a Saturday, August 3rd in Lakeland, Florida, being put on by the Central Florida Water Ski Show. And then in Evansville, Illinois on September 7th, hosted by Missouri Disabled Water Ski Association. So please, if you are anywhere near those locations, if you are able to participate, that would be huge. I know this last weekend here, there was an event, the one in Florida, hosted by Ann's Angels Water Ski Foundation. Ann Brian Satterfield, she is the one who helped us. I think it's safe to say she helped us the most with getting all of the events that are taking place now in Wisconsin. There was a whole group, including Ann herself, that came up and helped to train us in Wisconsin here so that we could effectively and safely put on events locally here. There are so many good things going on. We personally found, here, I'll put this back to the dates here. We personally found we find our passion in water skiing. We all have different passions in life. This is just one direction that a person can go to try water skiing. And look at this. This is what adaptive water skiing looks like. That in the middle there is a sit ski. We go out with a team of 3 like this, where you have 2 stand-up skiers plus somebody on the sit ski. So it doesn't matter what your ability or disability may be, you can still ski. There's a way to make it happen. And so I think it is huge to be able to have knowledge of opportunities. What is your passion? Do you enjoy sports? Do you enjoy, what is your hobbies? Have you ever tried? Again, I go back to water skiing because that's what I know. Have you ever tried it? You might be amazed at how much fun it is, how exhilarating it is, the actual adrenaline rush you get when you're behind the boat like that. Maybe your passion is horses. Maybe it's skydiving. I don't know what it is, but you know within yourself what types of things you enjoy. Even though you may think there might not be an opportunity for you, maybe there is. And it's just a matter of finding where to find that resource. How do I connect with water skiing? I don't know how to water ski. I would love to try water skiing. There's a way. There's, whether it's like what this was specifically for veterans, or if you want to do something like that wherever you are, that it doesn't really matter what the thing is that you have a passion for. You can find a place where you will be connected with others who actually have that same thing in life. Whether it could be board games, it could be, who knows, you name it. There's so many options. There's so much out there. Sometimes it is just finding how to connect to it. That is part of what Project Die Hard is trying to connect you with the things that make a difference for you. Every one of us, that looks different, right? Reach out. That's something that we can help with to help connect the dots. I know Alan Holmes was on here earlier making a comment. He is the master connector. He alone is one of those guys. He considers, I forget if he actually came up with this or if somebody called him this, but being the human Rolodex. and being able to be the guy who can connect you with others. And it's amazing. Sometimes it's just a matter of saying, hey, how do I do whatever it is? Reach out. It's something where there's more people available at your fingertips than you could possibly imagine that want to help, make a difference. And I go back to the even the breakfast that is done through Project Die Hard currently at the IHOP location in Paducah, Kentucky. That's something that the veterans in the community there are looking forward to every month. Having something to look forward to makes a difference, doesn't it? I mean, Kurt, you tell me, did you look forward to going this past weekend as much as I did to go see all these water ski shows? Something that happens to be a passion of ours. We look forward to that, right? And not just in the days prior to it, but all year long. We look forward to what those events are and what they mean for us. I would love to see that same kind of passion in everyone around us.
Yeah, that that really is an essential component for everybody to consider when you're going to a public event or something where, like, to talk about our veterans and to say, you know, what are you doing to invite veterans to things that you enjoy? Like, say, for our Wisconsin Show Ski Championships, you know, I don't know how accomplished the championships are inviting the veteran community to that event. And that definitely could be something we look into, you know, for July 2025. These are the ideas that fall under a realm that I brought into my life, you know, 20 years ago. It's called Mastery of Invitation. And it comes from a gentleman who's had tremendous success in the financial industry. And at an invitational event at one of his properties, he was asked by one of his guests, you know, hey, Bob, what would you say the one thing is that, you know, really put you on this trajectory of success, you know? And he talked about how when he would do the things on his calendar, whether it was going to a lunch or having a meeting or running an errand or whatever it is, and doing the things in this trail of success, he asked himself in his own mind, he's like, you know, why me? Like, why am I so special? Why not? Why is this not happening to everybody around me? And he made the decision to make that happen. He's like, apparently I'm the one that is given the privilege to be in this place and that place with that person, another person, and wherever he could, you know, get away with it or whatever, he would, while he's anticipating a meeting or an event or an activity, he would think about, who could I bring with me? That was his constant question to himself. Who could I bring with me? And he became a guy that was always bringing someone or some people with him. And that's how he described how he created his particular path and trajectory to success. Is he kind of spreaded the wealth a little bit, and he did it enough where some of this percolated success in people that otherwise it never would have gone there if he hadn't invited it. And so that is something that really hit me to say, you know what, I think I can relate to that. You know, and I never looked at it that way, but I sure started to. When I left that man's property, on the ride back, this all was in my mind. And he didn't present it as mastery of invitation, but as I looked at what I was going to do with it, I came up with it. Mastery of invitation. So let me put that out there as a challenge for everybody that is catching the work of Project Die Hard and the work Sue and I are doing as ambassadors, to say, what is the next thing? How soon could you invite a veteran to something that you are participating in, and to percolate the participation of a veteran through your invitation to that activity and helping that veteran get from wherever they live to wherever that activity or event is. To me, if we create a culture and a custom of that type of devotion and commitment to veterans, you know, Brian has talked about check your vet. What about, yeah, check your vet and create that ear, lend your ear to listen to anything that's on the mind of the veteran. But what about in this engagement that before you say goodbye, that you give, as Sue, as you were talking about, that thing for that veteran to look forward to? Because isn't that what we heard earlier in the story of our CEO, our president, Brian Gibson?
And in thinking through things for talking about here tonight, I started looking through some of the books that I've got a collection of books. Don't we all? Have we read them all? No, haven't gotten around to all of them yet, but some of these stood out to me that I thought, if you're ever looking for little things, don't be afraid to just reach out for something. Like, here you go. Make today count. This is something I had before I started being on here and talking about veterans, but this is something that you live and learn and pass it on. There are little quotes in here from people that are they're fun. Life's missing instruction manual. Don't we all feel a little lost sometime and wish somebody had a roadmap for us to figure out how do you get from today to tomorrow? And I think everybody at some point in their life can relate to feeling like you're stuck or feeling like I don't know why I'm here. I don't know what my purpose is. There's all sorts of resources out there that if you're more of if you don't like reaching out to people, there are still other possibilities like catching a book. There's actually 2 little short snippets in here that I thought might be a fun way to end on tonight. There's just a paragraph here from Jim Edwards, author of 5 Steps to Getting Anything You Want. And this is entitled, I Wish I Had Learned. So I wish I had learned that I can do anything I really believe I can do. It may sound simple, but it's the basis of any and all achievement or lack thereof in anyone's life. As soon as I believed I could, I could. And before that, I believed I couldn't, and I couldn't. If you want to change your life for the better, change your belief about what's possible for you, what you're entitled to, and what you can accomplish if you simply put your mind to it. Sure, it sounds obvious, but until you live it, breathe it, and make it part of who you are as a person, you'll just keep getting what you've gotten in the past, which I'll bet isn't what you want. Start believing in yourself, and your world will change for the better faster than you ever dreamed possible. And one more piece I'm going to share. It doesn't say who wrote this one, but it's another short snippet that says, you can be happy now. No one will believe you when you tell them this, but happiness is a choice. You can be happy right now. Yes, right now. How? With the decision to be happy. You don't need more money, though it would be nice. You don't need to be thinner, though you might like it. You don't need anything, though you might still want things. You can simply say, I'm going to be happy right now. This is the trick few know because they didn't have the owner's manual for their life. Smile, be happy. If you're not happy, a great opportunity. This reminds me a lot of with what we've done a lot with the Happy Neighborhood Project. The gentleman who is Cho, the Chief Happiness Officer, Edwin Adebury, he's all about happiness as a skill. And when you first hear that, or when I first heard that, I was like, what? Happiness is a skill? That doesn't sound right. But you know what? When you really look at it and think about it and dig into it a little bit, there's something to that. Laughter yoga, things that will brighten you, will make you automatically happier because of what it does to you physically when you laugh, when you enjoy, when you are in a different place than, Kurt, actually, I'm going to ask you to just give us maybe the last 30 seconds here or so, just a thought on all of this and that decision to be happy and what you've heard over time, because I know you've heard from Edwin quite a bit on this too.
Yeah, there's a lot in the toolbox from Edwin in terms of dealing with things that get us down, the 3-minute rule, take 3 minutes to deal with whatever's got you down and then commit to that you will decide to be happy. And this mantra of happiness is a default position. And Edwin is, you know, an expert enough in the field to know that when we shift this to veterans and PTSD and everything, suicide ideation and everything, you know, the conversation is a little bit more tenuous and does, you know, take more attention and devotion and ongoing commitment and professional involvement as well. So yeah, the, you know, the offerings at the Happy Neighborhood Project and happiness as a learnable skill and so forth, the book, so on and so forth. There's a lot of these things that are great, give a boost up. You know, but even in terms of with veterans, not being a veteran, you know, soon I hear not being veterans, we know that it is important to help make connections for veterans within the veteran, because there's nothing like speaking to another veteran. And yeah, I hop on board this notion, Sue, to say whatever we can do to take the more commonplace notions of happiness, and that we can, in our nonprofit work and in veteran services, keep it going, that we can, you know, make a, you know, an expectation of happiness for that veteran, because we've done enough. We stuck with it and we kept with what that veteran needs under the veteran's terms as determined by the veteran. And we're listening to what the veteran wants, and we better in the marketplace of delivering to that individual veteran everything that would bring them happiness. I like the thought that we're ending on here. Thank you.
Awesome. And I'm going to take a couple pieces this and pass it on. This is quotes from people ages 5 to 95, showing what they've discovered about life, love, and other good stuff. Some of it silly, some of it deep. I figured, you know what, I'm opening it up and seeing what I get. And there's two on this page that I'm going to share as my ending here. Somebody who was age 66 said, I've learned that whenever I decide something with kindness, I usually make a decision. And somebody age 75 said, I've learned that there is always someone who cares. Project Die Hard, you find a lot of people who care. That's why we're here, because we care. Know that people care about you. Even if you haven't met them yet, there's people out there who care about you and are praying for good things. Project Die Hard is all about to veterans, and I can only hope that whoever's ears needed to hear this message tonight is hearing it. And please consider what you can do as well to help Project Die Hard. So whether you can pray for us, whether you can donate, whatever it is, please, at minimum, share out what the mission is of this organization. And remember, I got to give that last reminder here too, that the meeting with the congressmen and the representatives is taking place and this Friday, July 26th at 9:30 a.m. And again, we can share out what that location exactly is in Marion, Illinois. Please do join us for that meeting. It's going to be a great one. I'm excited for what's going to come from that. And gosh, there's so many good things happening. Thank you for joining us here. We are here every Monday night at 6:30 p.m. Central for the Project Die Hard Mission Monday update. Kurt Roskoff, ambassador with Project Die Hard. My name again is Susan. You can reach us really easily just by using our first names. So again, Susan at projectdiehard.org. You can reach out by email. Kurt's is the same, Kurt at projectdiehard.org. Please do support what's going on with this mission and share it out. Let people know. So with that, as always, we thank you.